Guests here at this dinner to be able to welcome you to California. The people of California are honored by your presence here tonight. And all of us in California appreciate the opportunity of showing our pride in this great achievement, in this great stride forward for all of mankind. We know that our three guests of honors started the day under the ticker tape and the confetti in New York, where they stood and received the plaudits of the people of the Empire State. And then later in the day were in Chicago, where again they stood beneath the ticker tape and the confetti and watched the fireworks on the lakeshore. And we hope that in the days to come they will recall that in California we bid them sit down and we fed them and gave them to drink. Mr. President, we had thought here in California to present our honored guests with mounted commemorative medallions of our 200th anniversary, our bicentennial year here in California. They will be presented with those medallions, but our original idea of having them here at the dinner, we decided against it because we thought they might think it was a door prize won by virtue of being the guests who traveled the greatest distance to get here. But, Mr. President, there have been many firsts for our state in these 2 centuries. And now this first of a White House dinner outside the White House. You've chosen our state, and here we're allowed to participate in this, your first official recognition and greeting of this glorious achievement. We think here in California, there is no way to show our appreciation, to tell you only that our pride and our gratitude is such that California is in orbit, because this certainly must be the nicest birthday present California's ever received in 200 years. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in a toast to the President of the United States? Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Governor Reagan, for that very gracious and generous welcome to California to our astronauts, and also to all of our guests who have come a long way, not as far as they have come, but a long way to this dinner. And before we make some of the official awards on this historic occasion, I thought that all of the people in this great audience here, and those millions who are listening on television or seeing on television, would like to know some of the people that are here. All should be introduced in this distinguished group. All cannot be, but I am sure that we should have some. And except for those that will later participate in the program, I wish that those that I will now name will stand, and their wives with them as they are named, so that those on television and those in this audience can know who have come to honor our astronauts. First, the Chief Justice of the United States and Mrs. Berger. The former Vice President of the United States, and Mrs. Humphrey. There are 50 members of the House and Senate of the United States present. Will all of the members of the House and Senate of the United States and their wives please stand so that we may honor you? When we think of those who have gone before, it reminds us that the reason we can see further than those of yesterday is that we have the privilege sometimes of standing on the shoulders of the giants who have gone before us. Many giants have gone before these three great men we honor tonight. January 27, 1967 was a day that all Americans will remember, a day of sadness and a day of shock. But it is the day tonight that we wish to remember in a different way. On that day, three of the giants who made possible this achievement died. And the names of Grissom and White and Chafee will live forever in the annals of brave men who through their exploration and their sacrifice made possible the magnificent achievement we honor tonight. And therefore tonight I would like to ask Dr. Payne, the director of NASA, to step forward and to read a citation to these three men, a posthumous award of NASA's highest decoration, the Distinguished Service Medal. Dr. Payne.
The citation for astronauts Grissom, White, and Chafee reads as follows. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration awards posthumously to Virgil I. Grissom, Edward H. White, and Roger B. Chafee the NASA Distinguished Service Medals for professional skill, courage, and dedication to duty in Project Apollo. They gave their lives in their country's historic undertaking to realize the goal of landing men on the moon and returning them safely to Earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight in this audience are two very brave women. The men who explore the unknown are men of courage, and the women who stay behind, their wives, are gallant women, women of courage. And tonight, I would like to ask Mrs. Betty Grissom and Mrs. Pat White to step forward to receive the medals that their husbands have just been awarded.
And Space Administration presents the Group Achievement Award to the Apollo 11 Mission Operations Team for exceptional service in planning and exemplary execution of mission operational responsibilities for Apollo 11, the first manned lunar landing mission. The distinguished performance of this team was decisive in the success of the first extraterrestrial exploration mission, a major milestone in the advancement of mankind.
This is the young man when the computers seemed to be confused, and when he could have said stop, or when he could have said wait, said go. A long day for our astronauts, which we've always been looking forward to here, and all the nation has been awaiting. When the nation tries in the highest way we know possible to honor these men for what they have done. And we are therefore awarding them tonight the Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor that we can present to an American citizen. And to read those citations, the Vice President of the United States, who is Chairman of the Space Council, will now come to the rostrum.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, if these distinguished Apollo 11 astronauts will stand as their names are called, I will read the citation. Neil A. Armstrong. The citation reads as follows. As members of the crew of the United States spacecraft Apollo 11, they participated directly in a unique and profoundly important adventure. The accumulated scientific knowledge and technological ability of mankind made man's first step on the moon practicable. The courage and skill of men like these made it possible. Their contribution to this great undertaking will be remembered as long as men wonder and dream and search for truth on this planet and among the stars.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it says here, remarks for the President. Don't worry. I won't try to top what we have just witnessed and felt, but I do know that all of us here, even after a long day, would like to hear briefly from each of our astronauts.
Mr. President, here stands one proud American, proud to be a member of the Apollo team, proud to be a citizen of the United States of America, which nearly a decade ago said that it would land 2 men on the moon and then did so, showing along the way to the world both the triumphs and the tragedies. I'm proud to be an inhabitant of this most magnificent planet. As I looked at it from nearly 250,000 miles away 3 weeks ago, the people of New York, of Chicago, and of Los Angeles were far from my mind, frankly. But tonight they're very close to my mind. I wish that each and every one of you could have been with us today to see their enthusiasm and the magnificent greeting which they gave us upon our return. And of course, now the Freedom Medal I simply cannot express in words what that means to me, but I would like to say thank you very much.
Now, Colonel Aldrin. Thank you, Mr. President. I feel that the honor you have given us goes not just to us as a crew, but to countless thousands of others. Some are here tonight, many cannot be. It goes to hundreds of thousands of government and industry people who have strived over 8 long years on Apollo. Their success and the stepping stones of Apollo 7, 8, 9, and 10 gave us the opportunity to take Apollo 11 to the moon and land. It is an honor in a sense that goes to all Americans who believed, who persevered with us. Across this country today, we saw how deeply they believe. We saw it by their spontaneous enthusiasm and warmth of greeting for us. Our flight was your flight. We flew Eagle and Columbia with your hands helping us on the controls and your spirit behind us. When Neil and I saluted the flag, all Americans, I think, saluted it with us. We hope that the proud emblem of the American eagle, carrying the olive branch to the moon, may inspire a new generation. The words you spoke to us, Mr. President, that incredible night on the moon, summed up many of the feelings we have felt today from the people of this great country. What Apollo has begun, we hope will spread out in many directions, not just in space, but underneath the seas and in the cities, to tell us unforgettably that we can do what we will and must and want to do. Never before have travelers been so far removed from their homelands as we were. Yet never before have travelers had so many human beings at their right hand. There are footprints on the moon. Those footprints belong to each and every one of you, to all of mankind. And they are there because of the blood, the sweat, and the tears of millions of people. These footprints are a symbol of the true human spirit. Thank you, Mr. President. And now, the first man to set foot on the moon, Neil Armstrong.
We were privileged to leave on the moon a plaque endorsed by you, Mr. President, saying, for all mankind. You too took a trip, as you pointed out, around the world, and carried that message to all mankind. Perhaps in the third millennia, a wayward stranger will read that plaque at Tranquility Base let history mark that this was the age in which that became a fact. I was struck this morning in New York by a proudly waved but uncarefully scribbled sign. It said, "Through you, we touched the moon." Through you, we touched the moon. It was our privilege today, across the country, to touch America. I suspect that perhaps the most warm, genuine feeling that all of us could receive came through the cheers and shouts and most of all the smiles of our fellow Americans. We hope and think that those people shared our belief that this is the beginning of a new era. The beginning of an era when man understands the universe around him, and the beginning of the era when man understands himself.
Would you please remain standing for a moment? Ladies and gentlemen, it is my high honor and privilege